All the years of me playing GTA Online, I've tested out nearly every pedestrian car, every free car you can get. And here are the best ones in my opinion. The Jackal, what a mind-blowing car. This car, people are going to question why I've put it on the list. Some people, if you've seen my older videos, you'd understand this car. It's such a pedestrianized vehicle. We always just drive past this thing all the time. No one ever thinks to pick it up or try and modify it. You know, it has fair modifications. I mean, it has one splitter option, one diffuser option, one spoiler option. But that's not the surprise factor of this car. This car has a weird handling physics, like almost unrealistic. The front end of this car sticks so much that you'll find yourself turning in way too early. Your eye coordination of like seeing a corner and then getting ready to turn in. But then when you turn, this car is like glued to the ground. So you turn way too early and then you nearly end up crashing. That has happened so much with this car. It's like it has the speed of a normal pedestrian vehicle, but then it has the turning angle of a supercar. And I think even better than some supercars in the game. It's hard to describe these vans to the OG viewers. Like the OG viewers of GTA and players of GTA know about certain vehicles like the Yuga van, the drift van, the tuner van. And for others that were just getting into the car scene or are just curious in this video, are probably confused at why am I calling it a tuner drift van. And that's because this van can be a tuner van and it can also start drifting. It's relatively low powered drifting. And we were doing this before low grips came out, so it does have funny, unique modifications like the roof extension, and you can make it into an actual van by covering the windows, which was never seen in this era of GTA. This was out with GTA. We hardly ever saw modifications back then, so these were like groundbreaking. And especially when you actually have an oil cooler modification just stuck on the outside, like an old school JDM car. This van was groundbreaking, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that still don't know about this. So if you show your friends that are not that deep into the car scene, they'd probably be like, what the hell is that? The Intruder, one of my favorite on the list. I own 3 of them, or 4, I don't know. It's surprising that I'd have 4 of them when there's hardly any modifications, so you can't make very different alternatives. But it's just this car. There's only one car in the game which you can near enough make a chaser. You know, it's very discreet, it's quite fast for what it is. It's just a JDM car that's slept on. There's some people with crazy JDM collections out there, and they still miss this one out. And look at this car lowered. It's amazing. The Dominator. The Dominator is one of the best sounding cars in the game, and it's a very strange car indeed, because the less throttle you put in this car, the louder the car is. Let's skip past all the modifications and the unique modifications, and you know, again, this is a pretty old gen car and it's got this many modifications and it's not been updated. I have realized they've updated cars that have not had newer models of the same version. So for the Dominator's got new models like the GTX. So they didn't update the older version. The Sentinel doesn't have any new counterpart. There's no new 3 series. So they updated the Sentinel. Same with the Schwarzer. There's no new C-Class. So they updated the Schwarzer. But the Dominator is a very weird car. The less throttle you put in, the more louder it is. So the more throttle you put in, the less louder it is. And yeah, it's very confusing. But this car sounds so nice, and it's up there with one of the best sounding cars in the game. One thing I like doing is just letting go of the throttle again and again, and yeah, just hearing the growl. The Sadler. Hello, why have you got this on the list? Why do you even own it? I like this car. I like this truck, sorry. It's a 4x4 truck that's rear wheel biased. It's so fun to drive. And I tried in this video to go and find a trailer in the Sandy Shores area, but I could not. And that's normally where you find this vehicle. I spent like an hour of doing that and I gave up. But yeah, you can have low grip tires on this thing and then have a trailer on it. And yeah, just have some fun. The Schwarzer. The Schwarzer, such a good looking car. Such a good drift car. This is an all-round great car. They even added new liveries to the vehicle, some new modifications, and you can actually make this thing look like a Black Series. Again, another one of those times where you're like, Rockstar, why would you do things for the greater good? Like, why would you update these old vehicles? And I'm pretty sure no one is disappointed with the new upgrades on the Schwarzer. The liveries actually look cool. You can actually get some subtle ones as well. The modifications are not crazy. And yeah, in Rockstar's books, this should not be free. Why can't I get it off the road? Very strange indeed. The Sultan. The Sultan's of course been overshadowed by the Sultan RS, and it's not like it's an uncommon car. There are people out there who probably start the game and this is one of the first cars they'll get. But the nostalgia of this car, if anyone's played GTA 4, this was the car, and you can make it like the Grand Theft Auto 4 spec. When you used to go all the way to the west of the map behind that building and you used to pick up that Sultan RS, and a new color used to spawn every time. Like, this was the OG Sultan RS, and when you put the roll cage in, you can get that Sultan RS livery, which then didn't make sense because now you've got the actual Sultan RS, which is the Benny's version, but then this Sultan has the Sultan RS. Yeah, it's very confusing, but this is the OG Sultan RS. This is what it used to be. The Futo, I've had many memories with this car. I'm pretty sure at the start of GTA it was many people's first drift car as well. But another car which has been updated. Again, something that Rockstar have done so well, and that's updating their vehicles, their old vehicles. Rockstar were just doing it right. I wish they would have updated a bit more, like modifications on this car. But the Futos, like, it's hard to believe that many people haven't had this car. I don't know many people that have not owned a Futo once in their life, so I'll keep this one short. The Picador was an underrated car before any additions to it. It was already such a cool car. When you start driving it, you think it's a rear-wheel drive car, but it's not. It's all-wheel drive. It has so many modifications to it. When you lower the suspension of this thing, it's literally a lowrider. And there's lowrider liveries on this thing as well. It's a truck that's a lowrider, but it's not a Benny's. There's so many options for this thing. It's hard to believe that Rockstar would add this many options for this vehicle. Yeah, another vehicle that was updated. And yeah, if you want to drift this thing, I wouldn't recommend low grips. I did put it on for this video, but really, I was spinning it out so much. The Sentinel, what a car. And we all know it as a first generation car, something that's old, something that might not have a lot of modifications. But they have updated this car, and they've updated it for the better, adding so many modifications to the car. So many different liveries. You've also got the forged carbon modifications with HSW, and yeah, you've got HSW. I know a lot of people are not going to use the HSW option because we're talking about free cars here. But in this video, I've not been recommending low grip tires much, but this car is almost like it's built for low grip tires. It's got the perfect amount of power, the perfect amount of steering angle. This is a really good drift car when you put low grip tires on it. This has been in the top 5 or top 10 of the community's favorite car in general. Never mind free cars. This car is a win-win if you've never had it, which I highly doubt. The Sentinel, if there was an award for cars, it would be an award-winning car in GTA. There's many cars that I would have liked to put on the list, but I wanted to make it 10 cars instead. Like the Felon is such a great car. It looks amazing, lowered. It looks luxury as well. It doesn't look like a car that you can just get off the street. It has 4 doors, it has good handling, another all-round great car. It does lack with a bit of mods, and also does the F620. The F620 also lacks with a few mods, and that's why I think they're just here dangling off the list. The F620 has a unique design that you don't see in GTA, has carbon in the headlights, and yeah, when I said the F620 lacked with mods, it has 0 modifications. And its supercar looks with a free price tag if you take it off the street. These two are actually just below the high value category where you can't store these in your garage, but you can. Getting to the end of the video here, there are some cars that obviously I did not put in. There's some great cars like the Phoenix. Let me know what your favorite car is to get off the street. I'm pretty sure more than 50% of the comments will be Sentinel. But if you do think I've got anything wrong and there should have been a car added, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and see you guys in the next one.